Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. Johnny North is here with me, as always. Welcome to the show. We got a whole lot of professional wrestling to get to. WWE Extreme Rules coming up. Fyter Fest from AEW will start next week. We are just a few days away now from AEW's second annual Fyter Fest that will take place over 2 weeks on AEW Dynamite, and the first night of Fyter Fest will come up this coming Wednesday night on Dynamite. So get ready for some big weeks of AEW television for the next 2 weeks of Dynamite. We're going to tell you about some new matches added to Fyter Fest Night 1 and Night 2. We'll talk about COVID-19 striking the WWE, Renee Young, of course, interviewer for the WWE. She has tested positive for COVID-19. WWE producer Jamie Noble has tested positive for COVID-19. Kayla Braxton, another interviewer, has tested positive. There are rumors of up to 24 people across the WWE enterprise, across the company, people on and off camera, production staff. That number not really confirmed right now, but the WWE definitely taking some coronavirus hits this week, doing their tapings Friday night and Saturday night this week for Smackdown and Raw. And they're trying to get these shows done. They're doing a bunch of tests. Things are accelerating. Things are changing as far as the coronavirus situation and the WWE right now. And, of course, they're in the state of Florida, where it's getting worse every day. New cases popping up. It's becoming a new hotspot. So things are definitely happening within the WWE, both on and off camera. On camera, Extreme Rules is starting to come together. Dolph Ziggler will be challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. Sasha Banks will go one-on-one with Asuka for the Raw Women's title. And Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman is going to be some sort of cinematic wrestling match. They're now calling Extreme Rules the Horror Show. I don't know if that's in reference to the whole COVID-19 outbreak horror show that they're experiencing, or maybe that's what the Bray Wyatt-Braun Strowman match is going to be called. But WWE now, Extreme Rules, the Horror Show, is how they're dubbing this one, and it'll take place July the 19th at the Performance Center in Orlando. Get ready for another cinematic wrestling experience. And we got to witness what I think is one of the best cinematic wrestling experiences they've ever done. The Boneyard match, the Undertaker celebration on Smackdown this week. It was just a mostly whole Smackdown built around celebrating the career of the Undertaker, video packages, different wrestlers and legends talking about Undertaker. They had John Cena, Roman Reigns, Edge, Kane, Ric Flair, Steve Austin, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. They brought out all the big guns to talk about The Undertaker and his retirement. Although after seeing Smackdown, I don't buy that retirement, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I was buying it up until I saw Smackdown and Baron Corbin and what he had to say, and now I'm not too sure. Big Johnny, we got a lot to get to, but before we start with the pro wrestling and everything we have here on Wrestling Uncensored, we should make an announcement, right? This show is going to sound different, look different, and maybe morph into some things. Wrestling Uncensored is going to be changing. We're no longer on the radio for this show. We used to be on the radio in Montreal. We're not anymore. And now we were on the radio in Peterborough, Ontario, and we're not there either. That radio station actually changed formats. They used to be a sports talk radio station, and now they're like an alternative rock station. So our show didn't really fit there. unless you want to start talking about Pearl Jam or something. I don't know. Radiohead, things like that. Yeah. So our show's not on that station anymore, which is fine with us. Like, don't worry about that. That's really, it doesn't change it doesn't change that much for Wrestling Uncensored, and it will also lift some restrictions that we had being on the radio. And this show is turning more and more into an online show. You know, it started as a radio show. All the shows started as a radio show, but we're kind of changing and evolving into more of a YouTube show, a Facebook Live show, a podcast, right? So I want to thank everybody at the Extra PTBO. Thank Graham Elliott and John Paul and the whole gang there. It was a really fun time being on in Peterborough, doing all the hits. I was with them weekly, talking to the guys there on that radio station. Not just Wrestling Uncensored airing, but I also kind of appeared on one of their shows every week, and that was fun. So thanks to those guys. It was a fun experience being on that radio station. Maybe we'll do business together in the future. I wish them all the best. I really hope everybody there, gets to keep their job with a format change. You know how that can be. One day you're a guy who's supposed to talk about sports, and the next day you're a guy who has to talk about rock and roll music. And if you don't know anything about rock and roll music, well, then you might be out of a job, right? So I hope everybody is all right there at the radio station. When I saw the news, I wasn't really concerned for us. I was more concerned for the guys and girls there, all the good people that work at that radio station. Hopefully everything is all right with them. But as far as Wrestling Uncensored goes, we don't have to do a commercial break now. I mean, we still have commercials to do that will sprinkle throughout the show. Of course, Manscaped and IP Vanish and Stitcher Premium will give you all the commercials as well. But it'll allow us to talk more at length about certain subjects, and it's gonna change some things, and things are always changing with this show. And this was kind of a move that we were thinking about doing ourselves before they completely changed the format of the radio station, right? So it all kind of worked out in the end. We're all right with it. So thank you to everybody, and we wish you all the best in Peterborough. Wrestling Uncensored goes on here as it always has. Nothing changes for us, really.
Well, it's nice the runs that we had on different radio stations. You also missed that they're bringing back the Great American Bash for the next 2 weeks as well.
On what, NXT?
Yeah, that's right.
What does that even mean? They're just trying to counter-program Fyter Fest with a concept that Dusty Rhodes invented, the Great American Bash. Nice.
Well, they brought back before.
Classy.
Remember,
classy.
WWE had this pay-per-view before. Like, they brought back in the past already.
And what are they going to do for their 2-week Great American Bash? Wow, they're running a 2-week pay-per-view on back-to-back Wednesday nights. I wonder where they got that idea from. Like, it's just a clear counter-program copy. And I really don't care because Fyter Fest is so good, and I don't even know what's going on in NXT. Other than they're thinking about firing Velveteen Dream. He might be out of a job soon. He got into a car accident. Apparently he's all right. But there are rumors that they're contemplating releasing him after there were some allegations that he was involved with some underage boys.
Well, that's been going on for a couple weeks now, so that's not really anything new, but I guess the fact that it just keeps adding on, I guess, that they're finally maybe just going to give up on him. I mean, Jack Gallagher, I don't think like everything came out yet about him, but they just released him. Yet they still aired his match last week, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? They had it, they aired it.
Air the match.
Yeah, I guess. They did release him, though. Matt Riddle continues to appear on SmackDown, but it seems like that's getting resolved one way or another. He was on SmackDown again this week. Yeah, but the NXT Great American Bash thing, I really don't care. Like, what are they even doing?
Well, they're going to have the unification match, I believe, where it's going to be the winner take all. Keith Lee against Adam Cole, North American champion versus the NXT champion.
Okay. They're going to unify that?
From what it seems like, yes.
Okay. You think they're going to have a clean finish there? They're really going to do that?
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that. If anything, like WWE's very good on making sure we don't see clean finishes, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a clean finish. But that's what we have going forward. I think July 8th, I think, will be the second night of Bash.
Yeah, that's going to be the second night of Bash and second night of Fyter Fest. They're going to do a strap match, Dexter Loomis and Roderick Strong. Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and Dakota Kai in a fatal four-way for the number one contender spot for the NXT Women's title. And Rhea Ripley taking on Aaliyah and Robert Stone in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Okay, I mean, come on. Compare that to Fyter Fest. Compare that to the card of Fyter Fest. Far better. Fyter Fest, night one. Come on, man. Fyter Fest night one. Kenney and Hangman against the Best Friends. Cody versus Jake Hager. Sheeta versus Penelope Ford. Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz. That's just night one. That's a solid card.
But is it night two? It's like Nia Rose against like nobody pretty much? Like it's going to be like an unknown wrestler?
Yeah, Nyla Rose versus a mystery opponent. Who knows who that might be? Could be good. Lance Archer, Joey Janela, Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy, John Moxley, Brian Cage for the title. Although, is that going to happen? Colt Cabana and the Dark Order versus SCU, which I love Colt Cabana and the Dark Order. FTR and the Young Bucks teaming together against the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers. Cero miedo.
I think night one looks a lot better than night two on paper.
I don't know, man. I think either night is better than anything NXT's putting together, right? It's a pretty solid Fyter Fest. I'm excited for this, man. I'm excited for the 2 nights of Fyter Fest. They put together some solid matches. I'm into it.
It should be good. I hope it's good. I don't know about that whole 8-man tag thing. I mean, that seems like it's just going to be a lot of spots, unfortunately, and that doesn't really suit well to like the style of FTR.
Come on, man. It's FTR and the Young Bucks teaming together. You're not interested to see how that works? The story that they tell?
Well, we saw this coming leading up into this, right? Like said, like this wasn't going to be at Fyter Fest, the two teams against each other. They'd probably team up with each other or be like 4 corners tag.
Yeah.
And sure, put them all together in a team. We knew this was probably going to happen anyways.
So it's still cool. It's the first time it's happening. It's the first time you're seeing the Young Bucks and FTR all in a match together, and FTR is wrestling Butcher and the Blade, who they already wrestled, but they're also going to be in a match with the Lucha Brothers, which is pretty cool. That's good stuff, man. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that matchup. I'm happy with this whole Fyter Fest card. Let's preview night 1. We'll preview night 2 next week. Kenny Omega and Hangman against the Best Friends. You think the Best Friends take the tag titles from them? I don't.
Well, if they don't win the tag titles, like who's going to finally beat Kenny and Hangman?
Brody and Colt.
That really just seems like out of absolute nowhere they would pull that off. Like the Best Friends, at least they've been building to go for the tag team titles. Like they were the only team around once COVID started, so like it would kind of make sense that they'd win because they've been the most active.
I don't think that they've been built strong enough to really beat Hangman and Kenny. You really think Best Friends are going to win? I don't. I think the match will be all right, but I feel like Kenny and Hangman are going to hang on to them for another feud or 2. I just don't feel like Kenny and Hangman dropping them to another babyface team. Like, is this really where you drop the belts? I'm not into it.
Well, the way I'm looking at it, is any other titles going to change hands? And to me, if any title is going to change hands, it's going to be the tag team titles because I don't see Sheeta losing, and we don't even know if Moxley's going to wrestle.
You said
And
last week you thought Brian Cage was going to beat him.
Yeah, but we don't even know if the match will happen now, though. So you can't beat him if the match doesn't even happen. So
yeah, but if it does happen, Moxley tested negative for coronavirus. Okay, his wife is Renee Young. For those that don't know, which like if you watch wrestling in 2020 and you don't know that, where have you been? But yeah, so Moxley is married to Renee. Renee has coronavirus, and Moxley does not, which can happen. The Prime Minister of our country, Justin Trudeau, his wife had coronavirus, and apparently he did not. It was like, how is that possible? But here it is again. The Prime Minister of AEW, Jon Moxley, does not have coronavirus. Renee is Canadian, but she has coronavirus. And Mox, I think, should be good to go on July 8th. If he's been tested and he's negative, why wouldn't he defend his championship? Just stay away from your wife until Fyter Fest, right? That's what you're supposed to do. No, that's what you're supposed to do when somebody has coronavirus. You're supposed to, stay away from them. You're supposed to quarantine them, right?
That's what you're supposed to do. But, I mean, when it's family, sometimes things happen, unfortunately.
It's a wrestling business, brother, okay? It's the World Championship. Jon Moxley better show up for his title defense against Brian Cage. And I also do not think that he will drop the title to Brian Cage. I don't buy it. I don't know if we see any title changes during Fyter Fest. I don't think that the Best Friends will be the new tag team champions. You do. We'll find out on Wednesday. Do you think Jake Hager becomes the new AEW TNT champion? He will wrestle Cody. I liked the press conference that they did on Dynamite this week. I like that Hager's wife showed up, and they didn't really explain who she was. You have to really know to know. It's just a lady with Jake Hager. Have we seen her before?
She was at the pay-per-view, I believe, when he wrestled Dustin.
Okay. So she's kind of there, but, I don't know. You have to really pay attention to know who she is. So Dustin Rhodes was there, Arn Anderson was there, Brandy was there, and Cody was there, of course, for the press conference. Cody cut a good promo. Arn was kind of long-winded, but Cody cut a promo about respecting the wrestling business, and it's fed him his whole life, and he doesn't like meta wrestling or cosplay wrestling, which I thought was interesting because he is one of the executive vice presidents of AEW. Which is the worldwide leader in meta and cosplay wrestling. Is it not? Maybe Chikara was, but it's close, right? I wonder what Cody thought of the Stadium Stampede. Did he like that shit? If he doesn't like meta wrestling or cosplay wrestling, did he like the Stadium Stampede? Because a lot of people seem to like it, and it was in his company. What does he mean when he says that?
Well, I think it's more of a preference for him. Like, he prefers to do traditional wrestling instead of that Stadium Stampede stuff. And that's what you see in his matches. He just goes out there and wrestles. He tells a story with his wrestling, not with the gimmicks.
I think Cody's been the most consistent performer in AEW since its inception. I like Cody a lot. I think he's really good. He's a throwback style. His promos are solid and believable. Hager showed up, did a pose. It was like an MMA press conference, right? Or a boxing press conference. Hager shows up, doesn't do any talking, just does the pose for the cameras, which, what media was there? I don't really understand. They reference Pro Wrestling Illustrated and PWI. Did you notice that? Somebody asked Arn a question. Somebody asked Arn a question from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and then somebody asked Cody a question from PWI. And I'm like, do they think we don't know that that's the same thing? And also, what is Pro Wrestling Illustrated, a supposed, news source in professional wrestling, doing asking worked questions in a kayfabe press conference? Kind of kills their credibility.
Well, they have the inside track. That's it, you know.
But it's like, imagine me sitting at a press conference for AEW saying, Cody, how did it feel when Jake Hager's wife threw that water in your face? Do you want revenge now, Cody? It's like, what kind of stupid question is that? That's not a real wrestling question. That's a storyline question. You're supposed to be a real news source, and you're on AEW TV asking storyline questions. Get your shit together, PWI. I don't want to see that, man. I rely on PWI for news. I don't want to see them in work storylines, because then I'm like, wait a second. Are these guys just working us? Is it just all bullshit? That's a thing in pro wrestling that I don't like. A lot of these news sources, a lot of these guys, they're carny. You know, they work people. And they're like, oh, it's wrestling, brother. It's all a work. It's like, well, you're not really a wrestler, though. You're a guy who owns a website. You can't work people. You have a podcast. You're not a wrestler. It's not wrestling. Stop working people. If you're a heel in real life, I've said it before, okay? And this applies to people, a lot of people in wrestling and around wrestling, peripherally around wrestling. If you are a heel in real life and you're just doing heelish things, but it's in a real life situation, you're just an asshole. You're not like a heel. You're a dick. People in wrestling sometimes are a little confused about reality, you know? John, you know what I'm talking about? Sometimes you're confused by reality.
Well, for a lot of people, wrestling reality, it's the same thing. So, Tully Blanchard, if you heard the stories about him, like he would just act the way he was outside the ring as well, the same way. So, he got in a lot of fights.
Yeah, well, that's keeping kayfabe. There's, one thing in keeping kayfabe, and then there's just acting like an idiot. And a lot of people do that too. So, Hager and his wife show up, and Hager's wife tosses water in Cody's face. Brandy had to be held back by Cody. Cody's like keeping his cool. He's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I'll take care of him at Fyter Fest. And I think he will. Hager's not going to beat Cody for the title.
Well, I'd believe it if it just didn't come out of nowhere. There's not enough build for me to believe that Cody's going to lose the title. He just recently won that quickly. I think it might be a good match, but that's as far as I'll go in saying that I'm excited for this.
Yeah. I think they could have done more with this. I liked seeing Hager and his wife, Cody and his wife. They could have done more there. You feel like they could do something, but it was just like a one-time promo, and now we have the match. Very little build for this thing. I think the match will be good, but I think Cody is for sure going to retain his title. Hikaru Shida defending against Penelope Ford for the AEW Women's World Title. I like Penelope Ford. She's now the leader of that group. Like Kip Sabian lost his tag team partner, Jimmy Havoc. He had some allegations thrown his way. He's been indefinitely suspended by AEW. He's gone to rehab. So Kip Sabian lost his tag team partner. Penelope Ford is now the de facto leader of that group. I mean, Kip Sabian as a singles wrestler, Penelope Ford as a singles wrestler, she's getting a title shot. She's good. I think the match will be fun. I don't think Penelope wins, but I'm happy she's getting this shot. I think she's a talent, and she could be a future champion in AEW, just not right now.
Well, right now they're just kind of getting her experienced right now because she hasn't really wrestled too much in AEW except a lot of dark matches. So just seeing her on Dynamite almost every week, that's kind of a new thing for her. So for her to face the champion, this is like her first big match. So it's more of a let's see how you can do in a big spot for the first time kind of thing. Instead of like, oh yeah, we're going to give you the title right now. I just don't see that happening. I feel like they're just going to save that title for either Britt Baker or they're going to give it back to Nyla Rose, I think.
And Chris Jericho is going to be on commentary for night 1 of Fyter Fest. Pay attention to Jericho during Penelope Ford's match. I've noticed Chris Jericho cannot help himself talking about how beautiful he thinks Penelope Ford is every time she's out there. It's always a comment that he makes. I get it. She kind of looks like Jericho's wife. She's his type, But every time Jericho's on commentary, he's like, look at Penelope Ford. She's so hot. She's beautiful. Look at her. Like, he makes comments about it. And he doesn't talk about anybody else really like that. But you could tell he's got a crush on Penelope Ford. That's okay. As long as he doesn't do anything inappropriate, you know. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. Have you not noticed that? Is that just me noticing that? I don't know.
I feel JR is the same way, so I don't really notice that.
All right. I love Jericho. I'm not saying he's saying anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, oh, you could tell Jericho likes Penelope Ford because, like, every time she comes out, he's like, look at her. She looks great. And she does. She does. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy. He looks great. Fantastic. Handsome man. Luchasaurus. I don't know what he looks like. Looks like a dinosaur. They will be taking on MJF and Wardlow. Can we talk about that supposed lumberjack match that happened on Dynamite this week?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good way to start the show.
Yeah? But, like, that was... those were the worst lumberjacks in the history of the wrestling business. Were they not?
Yeah, they weren't great, but they got beat up, so it made sense.
They weren't great. John, what's the point of a lumberjack match? Why do you have lumberjacks around the ring for a lumberjack match?
Keep the guy in the ring?
Yeah. And most of that match took place where? On the fucking stage, man. It's a lumberjack match. Why have a lumberjack match? Those guys weren't there to keep the guys in the ring. It was Luchasaurus and Wardlow. And they wound up wrestling 80% of the match on the stage, doing a bunch of dives, lumberjacks diving. It was just a crowd. It was just a big fake crowd of people standing there ready to take the next dive. See Luther there just kind of standing up looking, oh, okay, here, come on, guys, let's get up so we can take the next dive. Fake ass shit. This is why people don't like wrestling, man. When they see phony ass shit like that, guys getting up and hugging to prepare to get landed upon by a gigantic man. Why would you ever do that in a fight? Why would you ever see a guy on a platform above you that's about to jump on you, grab a bunch of men, and wait for that man to land on you? Why would you ever do that in any kind of combat? And why would lumberjacks, who are supposed to be around the ring to keep the action inside the ring, why would they just kind of let the guys go and just stand there waiting for a dive? I was hating that match. I thought that was one of the worst matches I've ever seen in AEW. A gimmick just for gimmick's sake. Have Wardlow and Luchasaurus had a match before where it spilled to the outside and all hell broke loose and the referee had to count him out so that now, you know, you need a lumberjack match? Did I miss a match, John? I don't think I missed a match. I'm watching this fucking show every week. And they keep insulting my wrestling intelligence. Fuck. I thought it was the drizzling shits. Fucking dumb. Lumberjacks there for no reason. Just there. Hey, dive on me. Come here. Hey, I'm Luther. Hey, here's Jungle Boy. Hey, I'm Jungle Boy. I'm going to wait for Luchasaurus to dive on me. He's my tag team partner. And then, of course, when everybody falls down, Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt, they're the first to get up so that they can pose with Luchasaurus, on top of the huddled masses. Fucking stupid as shit. Fake, phony, bullshit, non-believable wrestling. Boo. 2 thumbs down. Wardlow winds up winning after an F10. Fucking F5. He's got an F10, okay? Take that, Brock Lesnar. Hits Luchasaurus with the F10 and pinned him after a low blow. Of course, a low blow, because it's not enough that you have lumberjacks interfering. MJF had to distract the referee to allow Wardlow to hit a low blow and then he hit his finisher and the pin to win the match. Fucking mind-blowingly stupid. How did you like that? What was it that you liked in that match, John? Tell me why you appreciated it. Because I was watching this being like, what the fuck is this? This is the worst lumberjack match I've ever seen. All right? And lumberjack matches aren't usually that good. WWE's done a ton of shit lumberjack matches. But this takes the cake, man. By God. What were the lumberjacks there for? Can we stop crowding around and waiting for a dive? Can we just stop that in wrestling? I don't want to see that anymore. I don't want to see people taking a dive, selling for a bit, getting back up when it's time to take the next dive, and then getting back up when it's time to take the next dive. It's just like, how stupid is this? How dumb do you think we are? What is wrestling? What is it? What are we trying to accomplish? Are we just trying to do a bunch of flips and stunts and entertain people? Or are you trying to simulate a contest? I think, my idea of pro wrestling, trying to simulate a wrestling contest, is fucking passé and old school. That's not what wrestling is about anymore. It's about fucking cinematic matches and doing as many impressive flips. If you're really big and you can flip, just do it. If you need 30 people to crowd around and catch you, fine, whatever. We'll get those 30 people somehow, because that's how wrestling is today. I guess I'm out of touch with what wrestling is. I'm a Bret Hart fan. He simulated a contest and entertained you and told a story in the ring without doing a bunch of flips or cinematic matches or a lumberjack match that made no fucking sense. I guess I was spoiled with Bret Hart. Or I'm old school. Or I don't know, John. Help me.
It's okay. You have no soul, according to Chris Jericho, so don't worry about it. So.
Yeah, I have no soul. I sold it to Millhouse, so,
But what I enjoyed about this match was before it went to the outside. Because before it went to the outside, what they did in the ring, I thought would just show you how two big men are really athletic and could do some really great things in that ring.
Yeah.
Once it went to the outside, then it kind of got a little ridiculous. But before that happened, I was like, man, this is one of the best matches I've seen both these guys wrestle. They haven't wrestled that many times in AEW, so that's what was really impressive, that they can do these moves to each other. Usually do it to small guys, but the fact they're doing it to big guys, both themselves, I thought that was really good. I didn't like the outside stuff, but the inside stuff I thought was great.
Isn't it at a certain point, it just felt like too much where you stop believing in them as these big giants when they're doing all this stuff to each other. It kind of makes both guys look like shit when they're just taking all of each other's moves. It felt like both guys were just trying to get their shit in. Like, okay, you can do impressive spots, but, like, does any of it make sense? Wardlow is fucking green, man. He is not good. Like, he looks great, but he is not ready for the big time. And Luchasaurus is better, but he's not a ring general. He's not carrying a Wardlow to a good match. Not impressed.
Well, I'm guessing that's why they did all that flip stuff at the end, to kind of make up for the fact that maybe they don't look as polished in the ring. And I don't mind the cheating at the end because they're heels, they cheat. So I'm cool with that.
MJF and Wardlow will take on the Jurassic Express in a tag team match on night 1 of Fyter Fest. MJF and Wardlow will win because MJF never loses.
Well, yeah, I guess so. That makes a lot of sense, really. And
yeah,
for the
agree with
part,
me,
too,
John. Just agree with me, brother. You know I'm right. Finally, he agrees with me.
Well, it's just that mostly faces win on these shows. So, yeah, you need some heels to win. And MJF is pretty much their top heel. So, yeah, he has to win.
That's right. Santana and Ortiz taking on the Private Party. I really liked Matt Hardy versus Santana this week on Dynamite. I thought it was really good. Matt Hardy wound up winning. I thought the match was good. Fun.
I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like anything like wow, but it was all right.
And of course, it was supposed to be Sammy Guevara in that spot, but after the dumb stuff that Sammy Guevara said, he's been suspended by AEW, and he's going under some sensitivity training. Who knows if he'll ever come back to the company. But it was supposed to be Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy, but of course, Santana stepping in as a member of the Inner Circle. Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party. I think Private Party probably takes this one. This is the match that I'm least excited about on this card. That's because a lot of these other matches are big-time title matches. Good Fyter Fest. And even this match is going to be fun. I like Santana, and I really like Ortiz. I love that guy. I like his face. I like the way he talks. I like the way he wrestles. He's got like the ferociousness, but he's also comedic. I think Ortiz is just fantastic. The more I see him, the more I love him. Santana as well. Like, when they first came into AEW, I was like, yeah, these guys are all right, you know, LAX, whatever. But the more I see them, and the more I see Ortiz especially, like, Santana's more like a straightforward wrestler, but Ortiz has this other thing going for him. He's like this mad pit bull, you know? He's fucking cool. I like Ortiz, man. I think he's awesome. John? Ortiz? Yeah?
They're okay. Like I don't mind them. They're good. Just I find as a team though sometimes they don't really respect the rules of tag team wrestling, and it kind of gets a little ridiculous. But I think they should win. I think at Fyter Fest because you have two face teams going for the tag team titles. You need some heel teams to face, so I think they should win.
I don't know. Private Party has this whole thing with Hangman Pussy Page, as they call him. So that might need to go somewhere. No?
No, it doesn't need to go anywhere.
Okay. I think Private Party's going to win, but that's okay. We disagree on a few of these matches here, John. And we'll see what happens at Fyter Fest coming up on Wednesday night on Dynamite. Before we go on to some WWE stuff, I want to tell you about our friends over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code RINGSIDE20 to get 20% off your order and free shipping on all of your Manscaped products. They've got so many great products. We are using them. Johnny North is manscaping. He's got the 3.0, the lawnmower, now available in Canada. You need to get yourself the lawnmower. It is a fantastic product. Great little buzzer. You can use it in the shower. It's waterproof. It's cordless. It's fantastic. It's a sleek design. It really does the trick. Gets into all those nooks and crannies where you want to be. Sleek and smooth. The Lawn Mower Trimmer 3.0 is what you need. Go to manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off and free shipping. They've got the ball deodorant. They've got the crop preserver. They've got the crop reviver. They've got it all for you. Your balls will thank you. So many great products over at Manscaped. Manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off and free shipping. Support the Ringside Report Network, support Wrestling Uncensored, and support your balls. Manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20. You know what I'm saying?
Now you can nick yourself. It's very difficult, but it is possible. So you do need to be careful.
Well, I guess. I had no problems, John. No problems. Didn't nick myself. But, John, you go right to the skin on all sorts of hard-to-reach areas, so I know you're a risk taker, but you're all right. You're feeling good. Fresh, clean for the summer, right?
Well, it was like the smallest little nick on.
All right. Don't want to hear it. Pretty gross. Don't want to hear exactly where you get the nicks and scrapes, John. It's not necessary. All right. What did you think of the Orange Cassidy, Chris Jericho promo? I thought Jericho's promo was just fantastic. Saying Orange Cassidy is just a joke, and when he sees him, like, you know, when he first saw him, he's like, why would you even sign this guy to AEW? And then he liked him a little bit after a while, but he knows that Orange Cassidy doesn't have what it takes to make it to the top. And if you try any of that bullshit, kick you in the shin stuff, I'll kick your teeth down your throat and beat you in 30 seconds. Orange took the mic from Jericho, then put it down and did the slow shin kick stuff to Jericho. And then they brawled through the crowd, and Jericho hit Orange with a camera crane and busted his ear open. Orange hit a Superman punch, though, on Jericho and sent him off a road case flying through a table, and that was the end of Dynamite. I'm looking forward to that Jericho-Orange Cassidy match. That promo from Jericho was really solid stuff. Jericho's so good. Le Champion, baby.
I enjoyed it. It just, that was the main event of Dynamite. I'm like, well, that wasn't really the way I'd end the show. Like, usually it's better to end with a match, I find. Just a promo like that. I was left wanting more. Which I guess isn't a bad thing, but I just feel like a match, like, that's really the way you should end the show.
All right. I don't mind ending with a promo, and it left you wanting more, which is, not so bad. Brody Lee and Colt Cabana beat Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, a new tag team. They had a whole promo video before. Janela going into a gas station, a group of thugs trying to attack Sonny Kiss, and then Sonny and Joey beating them up, and now they're a tag team. But they lost to Brody Lee and Colt Cabana. Brody hitting a clothesline on Janela, and then let Colt pin him. And then later on, Brody Lee and Colt Cabana are backstage, and Brody Lee starts cutting a promo about SCU, and Colt's like not sure if he wants to face SCU, and Brody's like, get your best men together, I'm going to bring mine, and he's like, Colt Cabana, and Colt's like, oh, me? And if you watch Colt's face during that promo, just fantastic facial expressions, and Colt's like kind of unsure if he wants to be with Brody Lee in the Dark Order the whole time. And then at the end of the promo, Brody Lee's like, we're going to, wrestle you guys, whatever. And then Colt's like, yeah. He decides at the end of the promo that he's down with the program. He kind of gives a face like, yeah. And I was like, I just loved it, man. Colt Cabana is so talented. When they first started this Brody Lee Colt Cabana thing, I was like, I don't know, where's this going to go? But this week, it all came together. Colt teamed with him. They won. Colt was really excited. Brody Lee's really trying to bring up Colt Cabana. Colt's starting to come around and be like, hey, this guy likes me. I like this guy. I like how Colt is reacting to Brody Lee. He's playing it perfectly. Colt is so talented. I love Colt Cabana, and I love that he's getting this spot. I love that he's getting this chance to show his talent because he's so talented. You put him in any kind of spot, even if it's a thing where it's like, I don't know how this is going to go. Even if he's not talking and he's just standing in the background, he kills it and has one of the best segments on Dynamite this week. Thank you, Boom Boom Colt Cabana. Killed it again. Did you like that promo? Did you see what I was talking about there with Colt's facial expressions? It was great stuff, man. If you missed it, you got to see it.
I noticed like the kind of like switch of reaction that he made. Like he did that intentionally so you would notice that. Like he's done that many times before in the past where it's like you need to take notice of me.
You got to go
very
back.
Good at that.
You got to go back. Sorry, you got to go back and watch just Colt's face through the promo. There's a lot going on.
All right, but going for the match, it's a 6-man tag, right? And it's not going to be Uno in the match. It's going to be Grayson teaming up with Cabana and Lee, right?
Yeah. So that's night 2. That's like night 2 of Fyter Fest. That'll be next week on the 8th of July.
Like I'm surprised it actually went this far. Like I thought they wouldn't actually work well together as a team and it would fall apart and they'd actually wrestle on Fyter Fest, but now they've gone this far with it. I don't know, again, if it's going to go much further. I feel eventually we're going to get Cabana against Lee, but maybe they'll drag this out longer than I expect.
I don't know if you do. Cabana against Lee. I think Colt is maybe going to join the Dark Order and change what the Dark Order is. I don't know, man, but I'm interested in it. I think it's a really good storyline. Colt Cabana is doing very well with it. I like it a lot. I like what's going on in AEW there. And I'm looking forward to Fyter Fest. Let's switch over to the WWE, but before we do, I'll tell you about our friends over at IPVanish. What you want to do right now is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. When you're on the internet, you need a secure VPN. You need to protect yourself from hackers. They're out there trying to get you. They're trying to hack you, get your personal information. Do you have things stored on your phone? Do you have things on your laptop? Do you have things on your tablet? Are you out there using public Wi-Fi? You need to be safe. You need a secure VPN like IP Vanish. And right now, until the end of the month, they are doing a $5 permanent discount on their service. So for $5 a month only, you can get IP Vanish and secure yourself. And this is a permanent discount. Over 50% off permanently for IP Vanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net and sign up today and support the network. COVID-19. COVID-19, Johnny North. Jamie Noble has it. Renee Young has it. Kayla Braxton tweeted that she had it in March and has it again. I didn't know you could have it again, or maybe it never went away. I'm not really sure. But then she tweeted about that, and then she deactivated her Twitter account because of the
she got a lot of hate.
stress. What? Why is she getting hate?
I read somewhere that people complain because I guess there's a photo of her at the beach or something. So I guess people are mad that she did that. She wasn't respecting because she got it the second time right. She thought, oh, she can't get it the first time. I mean, she couldn't get it the second time, so she just oh, I can do whatever I want kind of thing. And I guess people got mad about that.
I don't know.
You got
mad? Well, no, I was just surprised that you could get it twice. I didn't know you could get it twice. I wasn't mad at her for having coronavirus. I didn't know that you could get it again once you had it. I thought once you have it, you're good, you're immune. It's far worse. So I thought that she had maybe deleted her Twitter account because WWE did send out a memo saying, hey, don't talk about it. If you have it, don't talk about it. Which,
What?
Okay.
I think that's mainly for the wrestlers, though. I think the other people, the staff, they seem to be okay with it. A lot of them are talking about it.
Mm-hmm. But why would Kayla and Renee be allowed to talk about it, but not, Braun Strowman or somebody if he got it? That doesn't make sense to me. To me, if they're telling the wrestlers not to talk about it, they just didn't get the memo to Renee and Kayla yet, and it was too late. But Kayla deactivating her Twitter account to me is a little suspicious. And also, why are they telling their people not to talk about it? And up until this week, they were apparently telling people you weren't supposed to be wearing a mask if you're standing in the crowd. And now this week, people in the crowd are wearing masks. Right? The NXT talent that's in the crowd, there to make noise, the extras, they're now wearing masks.
I think Jey Uso was also wearing a mask.
Was he?
Pretty sure. I mean, it wasn't the traditional kind of mask, but he was wearing a mask.
Yeah, he was ringside for the Jeff Hardy Baron Corbin match. So there are rumors of 24 positive tests across the WWE, but that's not confirmed. We know 3 people that have it, at least 3 people. At what point do you think they say, okay, we're shutting down production? How many people have to get it? How many people on TV? How many of the TV wrestlers have to get it before they say, okay, pal, let's shut down? If Seth Rollins gets COVID-19, do they shut down? What about if Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman have COVID-19? Do they shut down then? I just wonder at what point will it be enough people in the company where they say, okay, maybe we need to shut down and reevaluate things. And I honestly think that there is no number, there is no breaking point. I think if all those people got COVID-19 and then some, they'd still put on a show one way or another. They'd re-air all of The Undertaker's career, right? Half of Smackdown was just we're going to play the Boneyard match. We're going to play a bunch of people talking about The Undertaker. Half of Smackdown was just an Undertaker tribute show because he retired, supposedly. But they would just do that. They would do that, and they would have whoever's there who doesn't have COVID wrestling. But I truly believe that all their champions could have COVID-19 and they would still put on a show. And they would still put on new matches. Am I wrong, John? I don't think I'm wrong, right?
Well, I'm going to maybe scare you right here because I didn't see Daniel Bryan around ringside. I saw Drew Gulak. So who knows who has it already. So, yeah, you should be kind of worried.
Well, maybe Daniel Bryan just said, okay, fuck this. That's enough, man. Everybody's getting it. I'm out. I'm not going to show up to SmackDown. Maybe he just didn't show up. Don't start rumors of Daniel Bryan having coronavirus. I didn't see him either, but I think Daniel Bryan is just like, you know what? I hope anyways. Kevin Owens went home. He's like, all right, I'm not going to be here anymore. Sami Zayn's been home for months. He didn't want to show up. I think Daniel Bryan probably said, all right, that's enough. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. By God, John. What? You do scare me with that shit. I don't want to hear Daniel Bryan maybe has coronavirus. He's been through enough. He's been through enough in his career, in his life.
Well,
Undertaker. Yeah, what?
He has a kid on the way. He has a kid on the way too, so that's really rough.
Yeah. Go home, man. Bree's pregnant. Go home. There's no point. Okay, Undertaker. Baron Corbin cuts a promo this week on SmackDown. After Undertaker, they air the Boneyard match. They have a bunch of Undertaker video package. It's an Undertaker tribute show. Then Baron Corbin comes into the ring saying, yeah, Boneyard match is good because Undertaker's just an old bag of bones. He's a shell of what he used to be. And the only reason he ever got anywhere in WWE is because he kisses the ass of a certain family. He says Undertaker is the founding member of the Kiss My Ass Club, and he was coddled and protected by the owners for 30 years. And Corbin says that Undertaker has been stealing money from this company for the past 20 years, and Taker is a selfish son of a bitch. And then he ends the promo by saying, Mark Calloway, you suck. Jeff Hardy shows up and attacks Baron Corbin, kicks him out of the ring, and then later beats him in the main event with a bunch of superstars around the ring, not respecting social distancing at all. But I guess they've all been tested, so whatever. They were all around the ring and just cheered on Jeff Hardy as he beat Baron Corbin. Corbin attacked Hardy after the match, which was really stupid because he's surrounded by like 20 baby faces that'll easily save Hardy. Like, how dumb is Baron Corbin? He was clearly outnumbered. But hey, Corbin's an idiot, I guess. He attacks Hardy after the match. Kofi tried to save him, but Corbin takes out Kofi like, fuck you, Kofi. Oh, you're WWE champion. Cool story. Get out of here. You suck. And then Big E comes in. He's like, all right, let me handle this. Grabs Corbin, hits the big ending. Braun Strowman shows up. It's Corbin with a slam. Matt Riddle shows up, does like a floating dive spinning move. And then Jeff Hardy does the Undertaker pose after the match. Was the Baron Corbin promo just for the match with Jeff Hardy? Because he went pretty hard on Undertaker. He said a lot of shit about Taker. That leads me to believe that Taker will come back for some sort of quick squash of Baron Corbin. Or a loss to Baron Corbin, and then he'll go away for good.
Well, I'll do one better for you. Like, why not we do Boneyard 2? Corbin versus Undertaker SummerSlam.
Okay, sure. Is that what you think is going to happen?
I don't know if that's what's going to happen, because if that was going to happen, I wouldn't have had Corbin lose on SmackDown so easily. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think that was just for the show, but they easily could have done it, and they still can do it if they want to, but I don't think they will.
Were you not surprised on a tribute show to The Undertaker how much Corbin said about Taker? How rough that promo was? When has anybody said those things about Undertaker?
AJ.
Stealing. AJ didn't say anything about kissing Vince's ass.
No, but he talked about his wife a lot, and
yeah,
he wasn't happy about that.
The McMahon stuff, that was new, and that It's like it came out of nowhere. Like, where did that come from? Why did that have a part of the promo? And that new thing, that new idea, that new concept leads me to believe that that's just scratching the surface of what they're going to explore going forward with some sort of Undertaker, Baron Corbin program. I don't think Corbin just said that for no reason. He went way too hard at Undertaker to just lose to Jeff Hardy and be like, oh yeah, Taker's satisfied with that. I don't think Taker's retired. I think he's going to come back and wrestle Baron Corbin at some point. I really do. You think he's done?
No, I don't think he's done. I think he's going to come back at some point, and it's just Baron Corbin. Like, if they built Baron Corbin up to face the Undertaker, sure, but the fact that he just pretty much loses all the time, Baron Corbin, like, I think they just had a good promo idea, that's it.
It's a pretty mean promo to cut on Undertaker when you're trying to tribute him. You know, you're trying to honor the man, and then you cut that scathing promo. Why would they do that to him?
No, they own the Undertaker, so they can do what they want to him.
Okay. But they're just kind of being dicks. I don't like that. Nikki Cross beat Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, and Dana Brooke in a fatal four-way to become the number one contender for Bayley in the SmackDown Women's title. Cross looking like she forgot her ring gear and was just wearing her workout gear. Well, what happened there? She wasn't wearing any kind of like wrestling gear. It just looked like some workout pants and a workout top. Completely different look for Nikki Cross. I don't know if that's part of a new gimmick or she forgot her ring gear. What happened there? Did you notice that? I was like, she doesn't look like she's in wrestling clothes.
Well, at first I thought like she wasn't involved in the match at all, but then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, she is involved in the match. So that's kind of weird, but I guess maybe she didn't realize she was going to wrestle that day and didn't bring her gear, so that's why that happened, unfortunately. But yeah, it was kind of weird. And the fact that she won the match too is even more weird.
Yeah. And the fact that she was wrestling against Alexa Bliss, who's been her tag team partner for so long, was also weird. It was a weird one, right? It was weird. But I guess it'll be Nikki Cross versus Bayley. What?
They were all faces in that match as well, so it was always weird. But I guess they did that so you'd believe any of them could win that match.
Yeah. And I did. And it'll be Nikki Cross against Bayley at Extreme Rules. Sasha Banks will wrestle Asuka at Extreme Rules. I could see Sasha winning. I'm really enjoying the whole Sasha Bayley thing. I think they're fantastic. They were on commentary again this week. They are great. They're really just going for it right now. I love their heel personas. I think they're fantastic. So I like that.
Well, I was not a fan of the commentary. I almost muted the commentary because I thought it was so annoying.
No. Well, that's what it's supposed to do, John. All right? You're just marking out for them. They are fantastic. I'm a big fan of Sasha and Bayley. I think they're great. I like the Lucha House Party, too. They teamed up with New Day to beat Miz, Morrison, Cesaro, and Shinsuke in an 8-man tag. Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman talked about seeing a snake at Bray Wyatt's swamp. Do you want to hear some of this? I can play some of this audio.
I think I already heard it, but let's hear it again.
Let's play some of this nonsense for you, because this was bad. This promo was not good.
I thought it was going to be worse, honestly.
How?
Well,
I want to tell you about when I first met Bray Wyatt. And for the first time in my life, I felt fear. I'm not talking about the bump in the night when you're a child fear. I'm talking about the type of fear that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. That gives you that feeling down in the pit of your stomach that something is wrong. That type of fear that makes a grown man tremble.
The delivery's so bad.
There was an edit on there. You could tell.
On the edge of that disgusting swamp. Bray's lantern glistening in the dark.
Glistening in the dark. Like, It's clear that this is a script that he's memorized. When would Braun Strowman ever talking about a lantern glistening in the dark? Like, what is this promo? Braun Strowman has become some sort of creature of the night type gimmick. I don't understand what he is. This is fucking awful, man.
Towards the water, a water moccasin started to slide out of the water.
A water moccasin?
Slithering directly towards Bray's
What's
lantern.
a water moccasin? Am I supposed to know that's a snake?
I jumped up and I quick wanted to stomp it to death, but Bray stopped me. He said, no, 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 no.
No,
That's
no,
my
no.
friend.
Hey, guys.
That was Randy Orton.
As I watched Bray Wyatt walk towards this snake, he knelt down and got face to face with it. As the snake coiled up, it lashed out and it bit Bray right in the face. And all he did
What did he do?
was laugh.
Oh.
He laughed as that snake repeatedly bit him over and over and over.
Yeah?
And in this instant, I knew that I was in the presence of evil. You see, because Bray Wyatt didn't get poisoned by this
good to know.
snake. He didn't bleed. He didn't even flinch when it bit him in the face. All he did
I call BS on
was
that.
laugh.
He knew.
And
At that moment, he knew.
I knew Bray Wyatt was the devil himself.
The devil himself.
That's when I realized
That's right.
Bray Wyatt was the serpent. I was overcome with emotion, enamored at this feat that I had just witnessed,
How is he the serpent?
and I couldn't help it.
The serpent's
so-
biting his face.
I started doing the devil's work.
What was that laugh?
It gets better. There's another one.
Every second of it.
Oh, he liked doing the devil's work. He liked it.
And you see,
And you see.
parts of me still does. I've done everything in my power. And
All right, skip to the end where he laughs. This sucks.
Better like that random laughing. With Bray in
Wow.
the background, it's weird.
Oh, that was over the top, ridiculous, terrible promo for Braun Strowman. What was that? This whole Braun Strowman Bray Wyatt thing. This is one of the main problems with WWE. Both of their World Championship storylines are bad. The Braun Strowman Bray Wyatt thing is ridiculous, and like Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, who cares? Who cares about those guys wrestling? No one believes Dolph Ziggler is going to beat Drew McIntyre. No one's believed Dolph Ziggler in a world title match ever. Haven't given us a reason to care or to believe in him. And now he's going to wrestle Drew McIntyre, who's just smashing everybody. It's fucking stupid, man.
It sucks. It's too bad, and it's not going to be a great pay-per-view, unfortunately, because of that. When you're not excited for the title matches, it's going to be a rough watch.
Nia Jax cut a promo complaining about Charlotte Flair always getting title shots, blaming it on her family. Charlotte Flair showed up. Nia's like, your dad is the reason you're where you are. And Charlotte's like, well, I guess I won't talk about your cousin Dwayne because you keep bringing him up. But it's funny that Nia was...
quite.
What? Well, she didn't say anything about Dwayne at all. But it's like, you know, Charlotte is getting... You know, Nia's like, oh, your dad. And it's like, yeah, why are you here, Nia? Are you here based on your own merit as a great professional wrestler, or are you here because your cousin's The Rock?
Well, she kind of said, like, oh, let's talk about family, Nia.
Yeah,
And
but
then
she didn't.
She got in the ring. Yeah, I know. It was kind of weird. I was like, did they edit it out or something? Because, like, she said, oh, let's talk about it. And then they didn't talk about it. So I'm like, well, that was kind of stupid.
Yes, it was. During that segment, by the way, R-Truth Or was that later on? When did Tozawa beat Truth?
That was later on, I think.
Oh, yeah. Truth and Tozawa were in the ring for a match. Lashley and MVP showed up and beat up Tozawa's ninjas, but Tozawa hid under the ring. They also beat up R-Truth, and then Tozawa showed up after, and he pinned R-Truth to become the new 24/7 champion. He's doing a thing where he's like the leader of some Ninja Turtles, foot soldiers, guys, ninjas. I don't know. But Tozawa is your new 24/7 champion. What is happening in this company? So Nia Jax and Charlotte are now feuding. Nia attacks Charlotte. During that thing, they had a brawl. And then Asuka beat Charlotte. Finally, Asuka beating Charlotte, putting her in the Asuka lock, getting her to tap out to retain the Raw Women's title. I thought the match was pretty good. But, of course, Asuka didn't really beat Charlotte clean because Charlotte was selling an injury from her previous encounter earlier in the night with Nia Jax. And then Nia attacked Charlotte later on in the show again while Charlotte was doing an interview. So Nia and Charlotte feuding over something. It's not going to be Charlotte, Nia, and Asuka triple threat at Extreme Rules. It's going to be Sasha versus Asuka. And maybe Charlotte and Nia wrestle one-on-one. Like, I'm not really sure what this leads to, but it's not a bad TV feud. I don't know.
Well, they wrote Charlotte off, though. They said that she apparently has like a fractured collarbone. And what really is going on is that she's getting like some sort of surgery. So I think she's out for at least like 6 weeks. And a good chance she's going to miss SummerSlam.
Wow, really?
Sadly.
Huh. Oh, I didn't know Charlotte was getting surgery. I didn't hear that.
I know her dad said that there's like a TV company that's interested in her, so possibly she might be doing a show, so who knows. But Rick says a lot of things, though, of course, so who knows. But the surgery's legit, though. The surgery's happening. I'm not sure what exact surgery. Some say that's an elective surgery, so who knows what that is.
Yeah, I'm seeing here Charlotte says she'll only be gone for a few weeks. They can still play things on the WWE Network to keep fans thinking about me, but utilizing social media will be most important while I'm gone. So Charlotte will be gone for a little while after that attack, so it was a way to write her off. There were reports that Charlotte wasn't going to be back until Royal Rumble 2021, January, but it seems like only a few weeks, so she will be back at some point, maybe by the end of the summer. But yeah, Charlotte Flair now out. That's disappointing. Ric Flair warned Nia Jax about what Charlotte's going to do to her, about the revenge, and then he went on to talk about how great Randy Orton is and how he's the best wrestler working today. Randy shows up and calls Flair the best performer in the history of the WWE. Randy talking about being the legend killer again and taking out Edge and Christian and feeling like his old self again. And I fully thought, like, when Randy was saying that stuff, it's like, I'm the legend killer again. It feels so great. I was like, is he going to turn on Flair here? Right? Didn't you think he was going to do that?
100%.
But then Big Show showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, here's the legend that's going to be attacked. Okay, here we go. I was like, oh, this makes sense. And Show cut a really passionate promo about Edge and Christian being his friends, and Randy's going to pay for what he did to them. And Show says that the second he met Randy, he knew that he was nothing but a narcissistic parasite. He says Randy uses people to get ahead, like Ric Flair, a man he used to respect. Flair got really mad when he said that. Show's like, I used to respect you, Ric Flair. Flair's like, getting all mad. Randy had to hold him back. That was good. Like to see Flair get all animated. Show says Randy lacks the motivation to make himself better and that Edge is going to get the payback he deserves when he comes back. Randy says Big Show's a legend and it would be tragic if Show suffered the same fate as Edge and Christian. Randy rolled out of the ring and he says he's focused and motivated and what happens next is on him, and then he just leaves with Ric Flair. So I guess Flair's going to be appearing more and more alongside Randy, but like Flair's over 70 and at risk for coronavirus. I would keep him away from WWE, but whatever. Flair's
I think
choice.
that's what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I don't think Flair's going to come back now. But I guess we're going to do some sort of Big Show Randy Orton program while waiting for Edge to come back.
Well, at least for Extreme Rules, it seems we're probably going to get that match. I don't know if they would drag it all the way to SummerSlam, but who knows? I say give Randy the title shot at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I like the promo from Big Show. I like the promo from Randy. I thought it was good stuff from Flair as well. I liked Edge's promo in that dark ring earlier in the night. I thought that was really good. He says Randy knew he was in trouble when he hit him with a low blow. But, Randy has woken up the evil. He's woken up the rated R superstar. And that Randy's going to pay. Edge says he's going to emasculate Randy and make him wish Cowboy Bob was firing blanks the night he was conceived. Solid stuff from the rated R superstar. Superstar. That was some good shit from Edge, man. Intensity. I like that. I like that whole thing. So far, 2020, Edge, Randy Orton, feud of the year. I don't think anybody's having better promos against each other, a better story build than Edge and Randy. Is there a better feud going today in professional wrestling?
As of right now, no. But I mean, for the year, that's kind of tough, though, I think. Because I know
else?
Jericho said like him and Moxley's like one of the greatest feuds of all time. So you'd have to again argue with Jericho, who also thinks you don't have a soul still.
Yeah, well, it's too bad. Too bad. But I would put Edge versus Randy Orton as the feud of the year. Undertaker, AJ Styles is up there. I think their stuff going into WrestleMania was really good. The Elite versus the Inner Circle has been a big thing in AEW. Kind of culminated in that Stadium Stampede. Of course, Coronavirus versus the World is probably the one that's going to win. But as far as in pro wrestling, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better feud than Edge and Randy in 2020. Promo-wise. And match-wise. That match that they had at Backlash was very, very good.
Well, match-wise, I know Meltzer would probably say the Kenney and Hangman against the Bucks match is match of the year so far.
I don't think that was this year.
That was at the pay-per-view in February, if I'm not mistaken. Revolution?
Was it?
It was in February 29th.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was up there. Probably match of the year so far. I would agree with that. I actually have a best of the year already in progress. So far, my matches of the year include Will Ospreay versus Hiromu Takahashi at Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade ladder match, Raw, January 20th, which was amazing. I don't know if you remember that one. Incredible match.
A couple botches, though, in that match.
I liked it. I have Young Bucks versus Kenney and Hangman from Revolution. And I have the Boneyard match, Undertaker and AJ Styles, WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was pretty good, man. Those are my candidates so far, kind of at the halfway point for match of the year. And I am keeping track. I am paying attention. I've got a best of 2020 going for the UFC as well. So, get ready for December. It's going to be a very well-researched best of the year for Wrestling Uncensored and Ringside Report. Okay? We take this shit serious. Good stuff from Edge this week. Good stuff from Randy. Natty beat Liv Morgan with a sharpshooter after a distraction from Lana, so Natty and Lana seem to be a tag team. Liv Morgan was backstage all mad. Ruby Riott tried to talk to her. Liv didn't want to hear it. And I think Liv and Ruby will probably join together and be a tag team. Of course, you can't reform the Riot Squad because they fired Sarah Logan. But I do think Liv and Ruby will find their way back together because what else are they doing, right? Might as well be a tag team.
Well, I think they're realizing they don't have a lot of challengers for Sasha and Bayley, so they're trying to build that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you can always have like challengers for the singles champions, because you just take a member of a tag team if you need to.
Sasha and Bayley, man, they are the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha becomes the new Raw Women's Champion. Sasha and Bayley are about to take over the WWE. I'm telling you, they're the hottest act in the WWE right now. They're my favorite thing to watch. I'm really enjoying them. Also, here on Raw, I wanted to get to the Sasha and Bayley match. They beat the Iconics, and then the promo afterwards I thought was really good when Sasha saying she's jealous of Bayley having 2 belts. I thought that promo was really good, and Sasha was like, I won a title match at Extreme Rules, and that's why I'm going to make a challenge right now. And you were like, oh, she's going to turn on Bayley here. She's going to challenge Bayley, and she's like, I'm going to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's title, and then Asuka came out and accepted. I thought that was really good stuff. Bayley sold it really well. Sasha sold it really well. There's always that, are they going to feud? Are they going to break up? And they never do. And that's part of their tag team. And I think it's just great the way they're playing people and they're playing that angle. And I thought that promo was just brilliant. And I like the way, Sasha was pushed into Bayley during the match. Bayley was taken out, left alone with the Iconics, and then she just took out both Iconics. She took out Billie Kay, grabbed Peyton Royce, put her in the bank statement, got her to tap out. That was the match. So they tease a lot of that Sasha like going out on her own, doing it by herself, maybe going to challenge Bayley, but then she swerves and challenges Asuka. I thought that was really good stuff. I thought that was well done.
Well, it's just nice because Asuka already wrestled earlier in the night, so for her to come out again, it was a little bit surprising.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice little change of pace because you weren't really expecting Sasha, who's on SmackDown, to get a title shot, but that's cool.
Apollo Crews beat Shelton Benjamin with a nice power bomb to retain the U.S. title. MVP trying to get Apollo Crews to join him and Bobby Lashley. Apollo isn't having it. Bobby Lashley attacked Apollo after the match and slapped him in the full Nelson. MVP's talking about Bobby Lashley taking the U.S. title from Apollo, so I guess they're going to feud there. Is Shelton going to join?
Probably do a match.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe at Extreme Rules, Bobby versus Apollo for the U.S. title. Is Shelton officially with MVP and Bobby, or is he just kind of loosely associated?
Yeah, I feel it might be just loosely at this point, kind of like Thorne and the other guy was.
Yeah, but Shelton's not doing anything. Why not put him with those guys? Give him something to do. More backup for Bobby.
I agree, but do they want to use him all the time? Because it seems like they'll use him and then back to main event.
He's pretty damn talented, man. The match he had with Apollo was really good. I don't know why you wouldn't use Shelton a little bit more than you do, given who you are using.
Ricochet?
Yeah, where's Ricochet? Where's Cedric Alexander? Whatever happened to those guys?
Main event.
Huh. I guess they were Heyman guys, and there they go. Remember those guys that beat Ricochet and Cedric Alexander? Did Cedric and yeah, Thorne and Vic. Did Ricochet ever get revenge on those guys?
No.
Oh shit.
Well, I think maybe he beat him. He beat Thorne, I think, maybe in a singles match, a main event. So there you go.
Jeez, man. What happened to Ricochet?
He wrestled Brock, and then it was over.
Yeah. So talented. Just wasted. Crazy. Ricochet gets less TV time than Dominic Mysterio.
Wayaka.
Ray and Dominic cut a promo to finish Raw. This was the main event segment. Ray tells his son that he was scared last week when he couldn't reach him, and he was worried when he found out that Dominic was coming to the Performance Center to get revenge on Seth Rollins. Ray says Dominic was able to escape last week, but he's still angry because he put himself at risk, and he's his son, and he's worried. Ray says it's his turn to fight and get revenge on Seth Rollins, but he needs to do it by himself. Dominic says he understands, but he's not going anywhere. And Dominic then takes the ring, looks right into the camera, and says, "This is what a family looks like, and this family wants a fight." And I thought that was pretty good. You know, I thought the delivery of that line was really good and believable. For the first time seeing Dominic on TV, he felt like a pro wrestler for a brief moment. Did you feel that?
I don't know. Just looking at him, I don't see a pro wrestler.
Yeah, looking at him physique-wise, you don't see a pro wrestler. He just doesn't look imposing. He doesn't look scary. He looks like a kid, you know? He looks like a chubby kid.
Pretty much.
Like he's not jacked. He's kind of tall, I guess. But he's not like a big jacked guy. He doesn't look imposing. He looks pretty young. Austin Theory looks young, but Austin Theory looks like a superhero, you know? Dominic Mysterio just kind of looks regular. He doesn't look like a wrestler. I think he's going to wrestle, though. Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and Murphy show up. But Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black showed up as backup and took Murphy and Theory out. Ray, Dominic, Aleister, and Humberto attacked Seth Rollins and tried to run him eye first into the ring steps to blind him like Seth did to Rey Mysterio. But then Theory and Murphy come back and save Seth. And then Seth tries to push Dominic's eye into the ring steps. But then Black and Carrillo come back and save him. And Seth and his goons bail. And Ray, Dominic, Aleister, and Humberto stand tall in the middle of the ring. A little too much like, okay, we're going to take you guys out. And then we're going to do the thing. And then you take us out. And then we do the thing. And then you stop us. And then we go away. It's like, okay. It's a little, like, it feels a little choreographed. It feels a little scripted, you know? It didn't feel real. When you're doing one of these brawls, you got to be careful when you're doing shit like that. When it's like, okay, we're gonna set him up with the eye in the ring post, and then you stop us, and then just when we have him, we're gonna take the other guy, and then you stop us, and it's like, okay, here we go. It's not good. It wasn't good. I thought that was a really weak ending to Raw. I thought the Rey and Dominic promo was okay. I thought Rey's promo was good. It was believable, you know? Concerned father, Rey Mysterio, believed it. I liked it. But the rehearsed, you know, I'm going to push you into the steel steps, then you're going to push me into the steel steps, and we're going to just barely save the guy. It's like, okay. Do it once, get it over with. Like when Humberto and Aleister and Ray and Dominic all have Seth Rollins and they're about to run his eye into the steps, just have Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory stop them, grab Seth, and run up the ramp. End it there. But no. Then you had to have Theory and Murphy somehow taking out, for a brief moment, Ray, Aleister Black, and Humberto, taking them all out so they could grab Dominic in a 3-on-1 attack and nearly push his eye into the ring steps, only for Humberto and Aleister to show up in the nick of time to stop them and then send them packing away. It's like, it was a little much. If you just did one almost run the guy's eye into the ring step thing with Seth Rollins, you know, try to get revenge, but then Murphy and Theory stop you and then they grab Seth and you run off, that's fine. That would have been a fine ending. But they had to add to it and make it more complicated than it needed to be, and it just winds up coming off a faker than it needed to come off. You know, it could have come off a lot better than it did. It's too bad.
Well, I found what hurt the most with that was that you had 3 heels against 4 faces. And whenever the heels are outnumbered, it just feels weird and awkward. So that kind of played out right there, where it's like the heels got the advantage, but barely. Like they should have left there, but no, they didn't. And then you had the faces come back already with the numbers advantage, and they had to come back with chairs. I just thought it made them look super weak.
Yeah, if it's a 4-on-3 babyface on heel advantage, I feel like the babyfaces should just be babyfaces, take out the heels strong, quickly, and be done with it. It shouldn't be like almost a fair fight. And it's not like Murphy and Theory have been booked particularly strong. I understand Seth Rollins is there, but Why are those three guys able to hold their own against... Well, I guess Dominic doesn't count as a wrestler. I think that's really what's happening. It's a 4-on-3, but like Dominic doesn't really count. It's really just Ray, and Ray's got one eye. So, I don't know. It's not that bad, I guess.
It's not that bad, but still, like, it just makes the faces kind of look kind of crummy, regardless the fact that, yeah, the one eye and Dominic's not that good of a wrestler.
Yeah, Dominic's not a wrestler. Ray's got one eye. It's really Aleister Black and Humberto trying to hold down the fort and save the Mysterios from the vicious beating. Yeah, okay.
But they can still hit. Like, it's not like they're completely useless.
Yeah, well, that's it. And that's why they came out on top, and that's why they stood tall. Johnny North, we are running out of time. I want to tell you about our friends. Actually, we're not running out of time. We have all the time in the world. We could do a 4-hour show if we wanted to, but I think we've said it all. I think we've covered it all for this week. Stitcher.
Well,
let me tell you what? Stitcher. Yeah, I got to do this. Thank you. Yeah, do this. At the Ringside Report Network, we've been making podcasts for about 15 years now, and many of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download our shows. Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report MMA. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of their sponsorship of our work, a special offer on the premium version of their service. Now, besides all of our shows, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or in your car on demand, ad-free with Stitcher Premium. You also get Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. Just $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. Go to Stitcher.com/premium right now and sign up using the promo code RINGSIDE for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Go to Stitcher.com/premium right now and use the promo code RINGSIDE for a free month. Support yourself, get quality entertainment, and support the Ringside Report Network at the same time. It's a win-win-win. Everybody wins. Johnny North, all you do is win, 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 no matter what. Finish the lyrics.
I can't.
Okay. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. Quiz him on hip hop music. Follow him on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. Follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. I'll post a picture of my new Yeezys on I think Thursday when I get them. Hopefully I'll get them on Thursday. The Quantum Barium, I think they're called. Easy Quantums, John. I won a raffle to earn a chance to buy them. Very excited, okay? I just won a raffle yesterday to win a chance to buy the Yeezys. Pretty exciting, okay? I won.
I hope they're good.
I hope they're good too. And I hope you guys are all good. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for hitting that super chat. Thank you for hitting the like. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And thank you for clicking the bell so you get notifications each and every time we are on. Wrestling Uncensored premieres on YouTube every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And Dave and Johnny Live, another pro wrestling show. We go live, take your questions every Friday at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time. A little lunchtime afternoon show for you, Dave and Johnny Live on Friday afternoons. For more on everything we do, go to ringsidereport.net. All our shows, podcast and on video version over at ringsidereport.net. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. I guess Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. It's not iTunes anymore. I'm old, okay? I'm old. I've got old-timey sayings now. I've used floppy disks in the past. All right, that's how old I am. I remember a time before the internet. I'm becoming an old man. And it's weird. And I kind of like it. How's it feel getting older, John? Your birthday's coming up real soon. A couple weeks?
Couple weeks. Like, age, it's good because, like, you've lived and you can remember it still. So that's nice.
I never and I'm really sorry, and I don't want to admit this, but I'm going to. I never remember exactly what date in July. It's the 13th, right? Is it or 11th? Is it the 11th?
10th.
The 10th. Yeah, see? I know it's like around there, but I can never narrow it down.
You're close. Close is good.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Do you know when my birthday is?
The 3rd of October?
Ah, shit. You do know. Well, now I feel doubly bad. Well, I'll get you something nice,
It's
John.
okay.
I'll get you something nice, and I'll make sure everybody honors you on your birthday. Hey, the 10th of July is going to be a Friday. We're going to be doing Dave and Johnny Live on that day. It'll be a Johnny North birthday celebration. Maybe I'll do like a Johnny North This Is Your Life. Where's Merples? What was it? What's that clown's name?
You mean the McFoley thing?
Yeah.
I think it was Merples the clown. I think.
Merples. I'm going to get Merples on Dave and Johnny Live in a couple weeks, all right? Celebrate your birthday. We're going to do a This Is Your Life celebration. We'll get one of your old teachers. You'll ask her if she likes pie. It's going to be great.
I'd be surprised if any of them are still alive, but that's nice.
Any of your teachers? How old were your teachers? I'd be
They were
surprised
very
if
old.
really all of your teachers throughout like high school and stuff. I'd be surprised if any of my teachers are dead.
Died already.
Really?
Yeah. Quite a few have died. Sadly, it's a sad world.
I don't know if any of my teachers are dead. I haven't kept up with them. Oh well, shit happens. We love you all. Keep up with us. RingsideReport.net. Follow us on the things. Thanks for watching. For Johnny, I'm Dave. This has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.